one of the phenomena we know around fat is that more or less universally we're taught that saturated fat is deemed as an evil type of fat. And there's a whole load of controversy around the cholesterol linked to heart disease, and is that linked to dietary cholesterol? Is it linked to saturated fat, or is it actually driven through insulin and sugar? And we're going to include a really detailed breakdown of the whole cholesterol controversy and why saturated fat probably got misnamed and is perhaps not as bad as we once thought it was. But all of these things need to be taken into context. So, of course, if you eat a high sugar diet with a high saturated fat diet, that's not going to be healthy, because you have loads of circulating insulin with loads of circulating free fatty acids in the bloodstream, and that that can lead to inflammation. It can lead to excess body fat, and potentially over a long period of time it could lead to oxidized cholesterol, which is one of the ways, one of the theories by which we get our arteries clogged up and then develop heart disease and stroke and so on. So what I can tell you is that people that have eat a high protein, high vegetable diet with a moderate amount of saturated fats and cholesterol from things like eggs, where if they take away all their sugar, I can think of the last 3 or 4 people who've measured their cholesterol, the cholesterol levels are practically halved on that type of a diet, where they've reduced the total amount of dietary carbohydrate, increased good fats, increased protein, increased fiber, increased vegetables. It's not it's not like a scientific study. It's just a simple observation, and of course there could be many other factors involved in the reasons why they had a cholesterol improvement. But if you look at the wrong kind of fats, so the trans and hydrogenated fats, these are the ones to really look for, and avoiding the higher levels of omega-6 fat. And if you're having a nice bit of organic steak with a little bit of saturates in, it's fine. You're much better off, in my opinion, to eat normal butter, but in moderation as compared with margarine. The butter is pure saturated fat. The margarine is very high in omega-6. The butter will withstand high temperatures better, so you can use that for frying your onions, frying some leeks and so on, and a moderate amount if you eat toast in the morning. And so the thing really is to look in the diet and try and choose the types of fats which haven't been tinkered with too much, processed, hydrogenated, and also the fats which aren't heated excessively to high temperatures, because you can alter the chemical structure of fats by overheating. If you see a pan of olive oil sort of smoking, I suggest you throw that away, because the chemical structures of the fats will be altered, and then there's also many carcinogenic or cancer-forming chemicals can be produced when you highly heat fats, and that's particularly the case with burning fat on a barbecue. It produces all kinds of quite toxic chemicals which are difficult for the body to process. So we really need to look at healthy fats in moderation. So it's fine to eat eggs, fine to eat butter, fine to include good quality olive oil in the diet. Coconut oil is a medium chain triglyceride, so it's a saturated fat, but it's a medium chain, so it bypasses normal fat metabolism, goes straight to the liver, and burns a little bit faster, so it can have certain uses for ultra endurance events. So it's got a tiny metabolism boosting effect, which may over a long period of time have an effect, as long as you swap it for another fat and don't just take it on top of all your other fats. Now, fats are a slow burning source of fuel, so for the sedentary individual, it's quite good to get them into a situation where they're more efficient at burning fats as a source of fuel. They contain twice the calories of carbohydrates or protein. So for the amount you eat, you get much more energy. So you have to be a little bit careful because of that. It's quite easy to sit down for a whole handful of nuts and you could easily consume 600 calories and not actually be that full after having it. So in summary, there's a lot of controversy around the cholesterol myth. For years we've been told that saturated fats are the evil one, and there's been a whole low fat revolution built on the back of it, which has pushed stealth sugars. None of the kind of obesity statistics are improving. In fact, they're getting worse. So, some of the bigger killers are slightly improving heart disease and stroke and so on, but only a tiny weeny bit, and many of the other ones are getting much worse. So it boils back down to choosing good fats as close to nature intended them to be, avoiding manufactured processed fats, and treating them with caution, and eating a moderate amount in balance with your other macronutrients.